Hey guys, it's Henrik here. Now, something that I've learned myself, I've read it and I've also heard it so many times, is that success in business and in life is dependent on focus and on leveraging your talents and strengths. And that is why I'm going to tell you today about how to find and hire freelancers. Now, most commonly for us, this will be programmers and designers. But in addition, it can be marketers, composers, and whatever else strikes your fancy, like a midget bodyguard. Now, following the 30-day app challenge, you should have an idea for your app now. You may not know how to write a single line of code, or you may be a programmer out to leverage your talents. Now, freelancers are there to execute your ideas. They have the necessary skills to turn it into a reality. And believe me, when you're seeing what was before just pure thought and energy in your head, and then it's being transformed and it comes to life, it's an amazing feeling. Like, for example, here is a drawing I made for my latest game icon. It's not exactly Picasso, but this is what the brilliant freelancer turned it into. Now that's pretty awesome, because there's no way that I would ever been able to get that kind of result on my own. So why outsource? Because they bring talents to the table that complement yours. Whether it's graphical skills, coding, composing, marketing, together you can do anything. And even if you are a jack of all trades and you've mastered all of these skills, still hiring freelancers will let you scale your business and let you create apps more quickly. Because you leverage your uniqueness, your ideas, and your thoughts combined with their productivity, and you can take your business to a whole new level. So what this means is that it is not only for those who don't know how to code, but it is for everybody who are going to make serious money in the app game. So in addition, hiring freelancers is a very interesting experience, because you get to talk to a lot of different people, you get to sit on the other side of the table as it is, and it's really so easy that anybody can do it. So let's talk about how to hire a coder, a programmer, or a developer for your app idea. So through watching the previous episodes, you now have your app idea. If not, please go through the earlier episodes and come back here when you have your idea well thought out. Because when hiring a coder, it is important that we start by defining which type of developer you want for your app. And this is dependent on your app idea. So if you're making a game, it depends on whether you're making a simple game, a medium game, or a complex game. Because the best choice of developer for each of these three types are different. Now for your first app, we will focus on simple apps, as they are easy to make, they're fun, and they're also quite lucrative. And then you also have utility apps. This is information apps, photography apps, radio apps, etc. So these are also easy to make, and when they solve a need that your users have, they're really good for downloads. So for simple games and for utility apps, what you want is a small developer team or even a solo programmer. Now I prefer small development teams, meaning a small company with 2 to 5, 6, 7 employees, and they should be experienced working together. They need to have a broad skill set and an outstanding track record. Now the thing about going with a small company, it means it will be cheap, it's very fast, and they will focus on you, which is great, because they have the time and the incentive to teach you anything that you don't already know, which makes the development a blast. And I'm going to repeat that one more time. They will have the time and the incentive to teach you anything you don't already know. Because if you're going with a larger corporation or a developing house, it means that you kind of become more of a number on a spreadsheet. They may still bend over backwards to accommodate you, but more likely they'll expect you to figure out things on your own and let them do their job. Like for example, when I made my first app, I went through over 15 applicants and I scaled them down and I talked to the 3 of them. Finally, I chose a small company over in India because they're very willing to spend the time to teach me what I needed to know, and they also led me through the development, and they taught me a lot. So for hiring freelancers, we recommend Elance, Odesk, and Freelancer. Now I'm going to walk you through the step of posting a job on Elance. So click on the link here on the screen and then log in with the account you previously made. Now if you don't have an account there yet, click here for the video showing you how to make an account. Now when you are logged into Elance, click on Post Your Job on the top right hand corner. So this is where we create the job description, and it's very similar to Odesk and Freelance as well. So what you want to do is start by typing in the name of your job. Now here you want to give quite little information. You just want to describe what type of app you're making, because this will give you a very broad spectrum of applicants. So a few things you want to remember to include in the title is which devices and operating system your app should be available on. This is the iPhone, this is iOS software, iPad, also iOS software, and it's Android for Android, or it can be Windows Phone or BlackBerry, etc. But for this video, we focus on iPhones and iOS because this is easiest and it's also the fastest way to make money. Now, some examples for your title can be game for iOS, custom iPhone app, side-scrolling running game for iPhone, 3D FPS game for iOS. It can also be an ebook app for Android or a game puzzle game for iPhone and iPad, information app for iPhone, etc. Now, as you hear, this is really basic information, but it is all the developers need in order to know whether they will be capable of making the app or not. Now, for the description, what you want to put in here are the details of who you would like to work with rather than the details of your app. Because you will describe the details of your app to them later over the phone. So check out the screenshots that I provide here in the video for details on what you may write. I'm just going to leave it here for a second. You can pause the video and read through it when you want. So this is the top, and then I would also add in this kind of information. Now, a pro tip for hiring outsourcers is to write a code word at the end of the description that they should include in the bid. Like when they reply to your job, they should start by mentioning a code word as the first sentence. This is basically to show that they are real humans and not robots or spammers. This can be, for example, Shazam, Money Games, Bazinga, or whatever else strikes you fancy. Now, usually this cuts out about 1/4 of the applicants straight off the bat. Now let's continue. On the category of work, you want to select IT and programming, and you want to select the subcategory mobile applications. For specific skills or groups that you can add, this is a maximum of 5. So here you should add Cocoa, iPhone, Objective-C, and C programming. And if you also want your app available on the iPad, add in that as well. And you don't need to know what Cocoa and Objective-C and C programming actually is. I still don't know a lot of the difference between these, but I do know the developers need to know in order to make the apps. And I've never encountered a program with this from me lacking this knowledge, because they have it and they do all the work for you when it comes to programming. In set work arrangement, you should check fixed price, and then you set a guesstimated budget as to what the app should cost. Now on Elance, you don't set a specific price, but rather a price range, and then the programmers use this as a guideline when bidding on projects. A simple rule of thumb here is under $750 for a simple app, $750 to $2,000 for medium apps, and $2,000 plus for complex apps. Now, under other options, under location privacy and other options, you should select post this job for 2 or 3 days at most. This is basically to keep things moving and make people apply at once when they see the job. And don't worry about the short time frame, you will get plenty of candidates. And if you don't, you just repost the job. It's free after all. So once you've filled out these details, click continue. Now on this screen, you can choose to feature your post. What this is that you pay $25 and your post will be higher prioritized. It will be shown at different places, and there's a bigger chance that you will get more applicants. Now if you're in a hurry or you consider your app an especially tough job, you might consider this. But for a simple iOS app, you are likely to get plenty of candidates without featuring your post. So now make your choice and move to the next screen. Now here you should preview your post. So read through it again and make sure that it's completed the way that you want it to, that it's clear, and that you believe people will understand what you're looking for. When you're satisfied, click post this job. So congratulations, you've now posted your first online job. Now the homework for this episode is to log onto your account on Elance or Desk Freelancer and post your job, as shown in this video. Now the next thing we will look at is how to screen freelancers, which questions to ask and what you should be looking for. So that will come up in the next video. And if you're watching this video online or listening to this podcast from iTunes, make sure to visit our site. We have lots of extra bonus material there and also a forum that you can participate in and ask your questions. You can also register for the full course on our site and get access to all the resources that we offer course participants. And remember, it is completely free, so you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. So sign up today at www.30dayappchallenge.com. That's www.30dayappchallenge.com.